You know where you should go. Go to Hale.
Welcome back to one Hale of a podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Hale, here with Connie Boros of the Humane Society of Sarasota. And we also have another special guest. Who is this little guy?
This is Milky Way.
Milky Way.
He's about a year old.
Yeah.
A little shy, but taking it all in. So it's his first time being a star.
So Milky Way, tell us about Milky Way.
So Milky Way came to us from Pasco County. We partner with a lot of rural shelters that need some assistance. They're often overcrowded, and so we will go and meet the animals that they have available and bring some back to our location to hopefully be adopted.
And so I hear a lot of the rural areas, that's where most of the more dogs are abandoned or left, or why is that? Do you have some background insight on that?
I think one of the things that's important to note is if you're looking at a municipal shelter, they have an open door policy, meaning that they have to accept every dog or cat, or depending on what they accept, it might be more than that, that is brought to them. And so for them to control capacity is much more difficult than for us, where we get to really assess the animals that are going to join us and make it based on available space.
Okay, and what sort of dogs, cats? I'm assuming it's just dogs and cats, or?
For us, we only do dogs and cats.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's sort of the criteria you're looking for?
So we have intake staff who are really talented, and they go out and they will assess the animals that the other shelter is looking for us to potentially take. And they're looking at a couple of primary things. One is behavior. This is a shy dog who's still coming out of its shell. So
I can tell Milky Way.
Right. I know, it's a lot.
His tail's not underneath his legs in between as much right now as when I first walked in. I think I might have been a little scary.
Well, yeah, I was told that the zoomies are big, but I haven't seen them yet. So
oh, really?
I don't know.
He doesn't want to zoom me around on these
yeah, not yet anyways.
Wood floors.
But he's doing a really nice job of just taking it all in and figuring out how he fits in. But they're looking at behavior, not for a perfectly behaved dog, but one that's not going to be a threat to the community.
Yeah.
And then also looking at the medical issues. And we're very lucky we have two really talented veterinarians on our team who sometimes can address issues that other shelters would not make a decision to do, amputation or things like that.
Okay. And then do you have any three-legged dogs then?
We do.
And are they all named Tripod? That'd be confusing I've never met a dog with 3 legs that wasn't named Tripod.
No, actually, I don't even know. There's one that is in a foster right now, and I don't know their name, but I know they're massive and doing really well.
I think I know their name.
Tripod.
Tripod.
You're going with Tripod.
There's got to be another name for a 3-legged dog out there. Put it in the comments below if you have another name, or if you have a dog or know of a dog with 3 legs that isn't named Tripod. All right, well, let's jump back into the main podcast studio. We just wanted to make sure we got Milky Way in here. Do you know why Milky Way's named Milky Way?
I have no idea. I don't know if this is the name that he came with from the other shelter, or if one of our volunteers had a creative moment.
Hey, Milky Way, I have a question for you. Do you know why your name's Milky Way? Do you know? Oh, he yawned.
I know, right? It's like
I think that's a sign of nervousness with dogs.
It can be.
I have a golden doodle at home, and so my wife, when we first got Winnie, he's yawning again. When we first got Winnie, my dog, she was telling me all this dog psychology. Yawning is one of the things where they're getting stressed out. So I think Milky Way is getting stressed out right now. We'll head over to the main podcast studio and let Milky Way sort of just chill and take a little nap.
Sounds great. Thanks.
All right. We're back in the Hale Law, one Hale of a podcast studio. And I'm back with Connie here and Milky Way, who's getting in some boxes over there you can't see on YouTube. He's not in frame. But Connie, so tell us about the Humane Society of Sarasota. What is your guys' mission? What are you out to do? And what do you want listeners to hear?
Well, thank you. I love talking about the Humane Society. So one cool fact about us is this is our 74th year.
Wow.
So we are the oldest animal welfare nonprofit in Sarasota area. So next year's a big year for us, the 75th.
What are you guys doing for the 75th? Sneak
Oh,
peek for
sneak-
all the listeners. You get to
sneak-
hear on One Hale of a Podcast. You heard it here first.
Right. So sneak peek in 2027, we will have our Pause event. That's our biggest annual fundraiser, and it will be celebrating the legacy of 75 years. So more information to come on that. It'll be on our website. We just celebrated this year's Pause last Friday. So
Oh, wow.
again, got to
So what'd
experience.
you guys do for the celebration of the pause?
So it is a luncheon. We had over 350 friends
Oh,
that
wow.
attended, which was amazing. I know you
Milky
can.
Way's getting in trouble over here.
I know you can hear the
I'm
little.
still listening. I'm just watching Milky Way.
Warming up to you, right? You can
Yeah.
hear those little footsteps. But we were super happy to have 350 of our friends and supporters in the room with a bunch of our adoptable kittens and puppies and some nice presentations.
Sounds like it was a pretty big event.
It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
What sort of animals are you guys rescuing, and what's the criteria? Because I think we talked a little bit about Milky Way, but overall, what are you looking for?
So for us, we are completely focused on dogs and cats, although there's a lot of other lovable kind of animals. That's our focus of all ages. So, the thing I think we're most known for, of course, is adoptions, which is amazing. We're adding
Yeah.
joy to adoptive families and to the animals' lives, but we do far more than that. One of the other key things that we do is TNVR, which is trap, neuter, vaccinate, and return.
I've heard about this. Yeah.
So we,
The bird people don't like it. I brought this up on the last podcast. This was the subject. The birders, or whatever they're called, people like birds don't like this policy.
So that I haven't heard from them, and so we'll keep it that way, hopefully. But we are, we're working with the community basically for free roaming community cats, and we partner with people who capture them in cages, bring them to us, and then we are going to do the neuter so that they're not having more and more litters.
kittens, yeah.
We're also vaccinating, so we're decreasing disease in the community,
That's good.
and doing those two things actually just often improves their behavior, so they're just less of a nuisance. Fun fact is one unaltered mama cat and her offspring over 7 years can produce over 300 and which I just saw the camera move over.
Yeah, the camera's moving.
I know.
Milky Way's all over the galaxy
Milky
right
Way
now.
is currently
The
filming.
Hale
so-
galaxy, the One Hale of a Podcast galaxy. It's the Milky Way galaxy.
Right.
now.
I love that he's exploring
So
though.
300 cats, is that what you
No,
said?
no,
Over 7
hold on.
years?
So it's a startling number.
Oh, because
One-
then those cats also can make more cats.
So here's the number.
So-
One unspayed mama cat and her babies over 7 years produce over 370,000
What?
kittens. And I literally, I was in my office. I took a whiteboard because I'm like, how is this possible? But when you think about it,
yeah, because
so do the math on your own time. But here's how it works. A kitten can get pregnant as early as 4 or 5 months. They can have 2 to 3 litters a year, and the average litter size is 4 to 6 kittens. And it can be more, but that's average. So when you figure 50% of the births are going to be females, and you start doing that math equation, that's how you get there. 370,000.
that is
Startling,
insane.
right?
Wow. So people, please spay and neuter your cats and dogs, as Bob Barker famously was
Back in the day.
quoted. Because if not, they can have 300. One cat can have 370,000, 350,000, whatever you said,
Yeah.
offspring
So,
in 7 years.
or if it's a community cat, you can partner with us and we will provide that service. We just need to be brought into the mix to be part of the solution.
And so, do you guys provide that service for free?
Sometimes, luckily through some grants, we're able to do that for periods of time. And so I wouldn't let the cost be a barrier if somebody's looking to get that service done. It's really a service to the animal and the community.
Yeah, absolutely. How many, I don't know if you know this fact, how many feral cats, wild cats, just cats that don't have homes, how many are there out there here in Sarasota, Manatee counties? Like, what are we looking at?
I do not know the answer to that question. What I do know is we provide this service as well as several other organizations in our community, and nobody's has a shortage of business.
Wow.
So they're just out there.
Okay. So, if you get a cat, you find a cat, make sure you take it over to Humane Society of Sarasota. They'll be able to help you out one way or another, whether it's through a grant or if not, how much you guys charge people to get their cats.
I mean, it's fairly inexpensive. It's under $100. And this is for community cats. Now, there are other resources. If I have a cat in my home and I want to get it spayed and neutered, that is not a service that we currently provide, but we can also refer to those that do.
Man, Milky Ways.
Milky Way found
Ways.
my secret hidden treats. So
Oh,
I can't,
because you brought some treats to
I
keep
can't
Milky
really
Way at
blame
bay.
them, right?
And so we're currently giving treats to Milky Way, or I'm not.
Very good.
Connie is, but Milky Way found them
He is resourceful.
using a sniffer. So dogs, cats, what sort of joy? I just see you messing with Milky Way. You're smiling.
Yeah.
What sort of joy do you get to see? How many adoptions are happening each month, year? Do you guys keep track of that? How
We
much?
do. We do. So
How many?
here, babe. Last year we saved over 3,600 lives, and that's a combination of adoptions and TNVR services. This year our goal is 4,400. So it's a couple hundred every month. I highly encourage people to follow our Facebook and Instagram pages because we're constantly posting adoptions and you can see the numbers, 13, 14 a day.
Wow.
And then we also have a couple events throughout the year, mega adoption, clear the shelter kind of things where sometimes fees are reduced or waived. And you'll see we had a weekend last year with well over 100 adoptions.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we reach out to a lot of people. My team does at One Hale of a Podcast, and we put the feelers out there, and then certain people respond back and they say, "Yeah, we'll come on your show." Why are you guys here on our show today?
For several reasons. One, we're grateful because your team chose us to be a recipient of some funds recently. So thank you for
Definitely.
that, because it is only through the support of the community that we're able to do what we do. The other is we're always looking to make new friends in the community. We don't want to be a secret. We don't want people to be surprised that we've been here 74 years doing this good work.
Yeah, I didn't know it was 74
74.
years. That's older than most things in Sarasota.
So, and the other is to really kind of talk about everything that we do. So we do the adoptions, we do TNVR. We also have a pet food pantry. So part of what we're trying to do is keep animals in their current home. So if there's a
Absolutely.
family that's coming up on a hard times, free pet food, no questions asked, if it helps them keep the animal at home. We do low cost, very reasonable obedience classes again. So if we can address
Well, that's
behavioral
nice.
issues,
Do
people
they
can
get a
keep their,
certificate?
of course.
A diploma to put up on the wall? My
Right.
dog graduated from
Right.
dog school.
Yeah, we can all be proud. And we also do canine good citizens. So we have teams of owners and largely dogs, although we're opening it to cats, a special cat here or two, that will go into schools, they'll go into hospitals, senior centers, and they're bringing some comfort and happiness.
So what's the matter with the cats? Why do the cats get no love?
They're just a little more selective.
They are.
They're
They
very
are.
loved. They're very loved. They just aren't always the best fit for therapy. So yeah, a lot of good things happening. And then, as we talked about before, we're partnering with other rural shelters that are most often overpopulated with less available resources in the community than we have. And so we're bringing them to us. So we're really a community partner in just a lot of ways.
Absolutely. And I know we reached out to you, or you reached out to us originally, and that's why we're working together now. But anytime there's an opportunity to help, we're always looking for it through our Hale Helps initiative. But when it comes down to everything, you're here. What brought you down to Sarasota? If you could tell us your background, and sort of goes into one of the other questions that we always
Right.
ask. Hey, what's your favorite restaurant here locally?
Right.
So what's the answer to that question and why?
So I am new to Sarasota.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Very friendly place, welcoming
right?
a lot of people.
I
We
know,
love
look
all
at-
the new people coming here.
Invites all over the place. And my husband and I had been coming down here for about 10 years visiting, and we didn't know if it was going to be a retirement move or what was going to happen. He works for Hyde Park Restaurant. Yes,
It's a good restaurant.
my favorite restaurant and meeting place with friends. And a lot of life things happen. So I did a merger of my last nonprofit and worked myself out of a job because it was the right thing to do to keep that mission going. And this opportunity was here. I've always been an animal lover. That alone is not the right reason to be in the job that I'm in. But I went to school for social work because I wanted to help people.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be a therapist. Figured out that was not really what I wanted to do, but I still wanted to find my way of making an impact. And my path has been really finding ways to support the teams, carrying out the mission, and then connecting with the community to find our shared touch points and make the biggest impact that we can.
Awesome. So speaking of Hyde Park, I think it's Hyde Park. What's the last part of it? Is it
Hyde,
just called
Hyde Park Steakhouse.
Steakhouse? That's what it is. I know it's Steakhouse. Their Bananas Fosters, it came out and it was all on fire and everything.
Yeah.
It's a very, very good dessert. I highly recommend it to anyone who ends up going out there. What's your favorite? When you go there, you've been going for a while now. Your husband obviously has been working
Right.
with them now for a while. What's the best app, main course, sides, and dessert?
Pressure,
We want the whole thing.
Well, let's talk dessert first. I'm a creme brulee girl.
Okay.
So
Creme brulee is good.
but I could list a number of other things that I also like from there. I love the wedge salad. The steaks, of course, are just a given, but
They're
I love
good.
the seafood as well. The lobster is amazing. Um, pancetta, corn. I might be calling it the right thing, but I can kind of talk my way through everything I've eaten, but I might not quite have the right names, but I'm a big fan.
Awesome. And while we're going into favorites, we're sort of skipping around and we'll say Florida Man segment usually comes before this, but the rapid fire round. Favorite coffee spot here locally?
So I am still very much learning, but I love Tostique.
Okay.
As
I haven't heard of that one.
ironically, it's across the street from Hyde Park.
Okay, there you
which
go.
was a by chance. Like before I even knew my navigation around, I met somebody there and I was like, so they have also just great smoothies and avocado toast and things like that. So,
Avocado toast.
yeah.
One of them fancy places, right?
Something like
It's
that.
got to be fancy if it's got avocado toast. That's
I
not a run of the mill type
I
of
love
place.
my avocado toast.
I like it too, but the problem is people don't make it as good as I do. I think I make mine a little bit better with some hot honey.
I think you're gonna
I like
prove
it really
this.
chunky.
Right.
I don't like mushing it up too much. And what else do I always put on? A lot of red pepper flakes.
That sounds
if I'm
good.
making it at my house, but I don't buy it at restaurants.
Yeah.
Because if I go out, and it's breakfast, I want to either have eggs or bacon. I got to have that. But
It is one of my favorite lunches, but you sound like you got that down, so no need to get it at a restaurant.
okay, so you eat it for lunch?
I do. I like it.
All right. I guess people who eat avocado toast, I sort of my wife liked it, and so I started making it at my house because I like cooking.
Mhm.
But I guess maybe people eat it for lunch, I guess.
Yeah, and
I don't know.
some of us don't like cooking, but we like eating.
Yeah,
So I've got that part down.
there you go. Favorite Sarasota spot to unwind? Where do you go to relax?
Yeah, of course we love the beaches.
Yes,
My
great beaches.
Yeah, and where we're located, we have a couple of different options, but Lido is definitely one of our favorites, as well as St. Armand Circle.
Nice.
So
I like South Lido.
yeah,
It's nice there, sort of where people come up with the boats. But there's this little, it's not a lagoon, maybe it is a lagoon. If you go far enough,
I know exactly where
And-
that's actually one of my favorites because it's a little off the beaten path.
people only
Yeah.
go there, either have to walk really far from the public beach,
Uh-huh.
or you can, second option, go by boat, or third, rent the kayaks or bring your kayak and then go back there. I like that spot. I randomly just stumbled upon it because I was just walking around, and there were a decent amount of people back there. So it's one of those things. I feel like that's one of those hidden gems, and especially if it's a little bit colder, the water's a little warmer because it's so shallow.
Mhm.
But just a cool spot. Sometimes there's jellyfish back there, or all sorts of different fish and things that like to live in the bay and shallow waters.
When I was newer to the area, I went for a walk from the main part of Lido Beach and just kind of walked around the edge, assuming it would reconnect,
Yeah.
but it doesn't.
No, it definitely doesn't. I knew it didn't when
So
I
that-
was walking.
so
But I didn't
that-
know it was going to be there.
That became a midday 4.5-mile walk without water, and I was like, I didn't quite nail it this time.
Yeah.
I'll need to look at the map.
A lot of water, but none was drinkable.
Correct.
So what do you do, or what do you enjoy doing outside of work?
So I myself have a rescue German Shepherd who's
Oh,
about
nice.
2. His name is Henry.
Henry.
And obviously that requires a lot of walking. So I'm a fan of just getting outside as much as possible. For mental health, just returning to the gym after an injury. So getting that back on a regular basis. But anything I can do outside is what's going to make me happy. Closer to the water, the better.
Perfect. I definitely understand that. Is there a rescue or adoption story that sticks with you? Something that you keep in your mind, good or bad? Actually, let's just go with good. I don't know if we necessarily. I see Hannah shaking her head in the corner of my eye. She's like, yeah, don't go with bad. I guess I always
I'm
like
gonna-
to
I'm
just
gonna
hear
go
whatever's
good.
most memorable.
Yeah.
Let's go with good. Tell me something that stayed with you, an adoption story.
So I actually just shared this story on Friday that we had a rural partner shelter that contacted us um, that had a puppy that just was not doing well, under 2 months old. And that puppy's shelter name at the time was Rockstar. And he was not doing well, wasn't quite sure what was going on. They were out of resources, and we said we'd give it a shot. So we took this little guy in, and it was very clear from the moment he arrived that it was not a wait and see situation. Like this was a desperate health situation. And our medical director, Dr. Ashley Gillett, decided to do something that's rarely done in shelter medicine and set this puppy up to get a blood transfusion.
Oh, wow.
Red blood cell count was really, really low. And at the time, we had another dog in our care who had waited almost a year for a family, still not adopted, named Diesel, large dog,
Imagine Diesel.
right? So Diesel became the blood donor for this little puppy. And we weren't sure. We didn't know if it was going to work or not. It was a Hail Mary of let's give it a shot. But a lot of shelters can't do that. They either don't have the medical expertise, they don't have the resources, the equipment, or maybe not the financial resources to take a risk when you don't know how it's going to end. Um, After a couple days, we started seeing Rockstar get a little stronger and allowed ourselves to have a little hope that this might be working. And 25 days later, he went home to his adoptive family
That's
after
awesome.
coming in that condition. New name is Bronco.
Bronco?
Bronco.
Bronco. We have a Hale Law Bronco. Ford Bronco. That's
Ford
wrapped.
Bronco. Okay.
Bronco's cool.
The great news is Diesel was also adopted. So
Oh, nice. I was wondering
two
about Diesel. I'm like,
stories.
do I ask the question or not?
No, it's,
So it just ends up turning into
yeah.
Diesel saved Rockstar, now Bronco.
Correct.
But then also they have that saying, who rescued who?
Mhm.
And Diesel's just rescuing everyone, it sounds
Right?
like.
Yeah.
Diesel's
no.
a good dog.
Yeah. So that's a really compelling, true story of some of the risks that we're able to take because we have the expertise and the medical resources to do it.
And 2 veterinarians on staff.
2 on staff. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
That's definitely. Is that normal for rescue shelters to have veterinarians on staff? And then if so, 2?
The range of what resources are at a shelter are so broad. I literally on Facebook this morning, I was, because I follow like all these rescues, of course,
Yeah.
and I read something from a Ohio shelter that was saying, we're a very small shelter. We have 3.5 staff. Last week,
3.5 staff.
yeah,
What happened in the other half?
yeah. We know how that works. So, and 2 other staff were out last week, so they weren't able to keep up with the adoption inquiries. Another one is sick this week. The 2 that are back are not 100%, and they're just getting by, right? And that's not uncommon for a small
Yeah.
shelter. We have about 55 staff.
Okay, you guys are pretty big then.
Big.
I mean, I've been there before.
Mhm.
I went and looked when we were looking before we got Winnie.
Right.
We were looking, but then ultimately,
What does
my
work?
son's allergic to dogs. I'm allergic to dogs. I was thinking, I'm keeping my hands like this. I'm like, I'm gonna be sneezing here in a
Yeah.
little bit.
That makes it a
I
little
need to
tougher.
go wash my hands. So we had to get a hypoallergenic dog.
Yes.
Like there's people who eat avocado toast and everything.
I was going to say, you got to do
avocado toast, hypoallergenic dogs.
Right.
I don't know.
So-
I used to just find dogs when I was growing up. I found we never bought dogs or anything. We just got dogs. But now people buy dogs.
Give the love away. We're not going to judge.
Yeah.
So just send the adopters to our door and we'll be happy.
That's what we'll do. Well, before we tell everyone how to get in contact with you, because that's what we definitely need to do,
Mhm.
we have a Florida Man segment where we tell you 3 stories. 2 are fake and 1's real. You have to guess which one's the real story.
I am feeling particularly pressured about this, just for the record. So
I'm
let's
gonna put
go.
this other
Let's-
piece of paper
let's go.
behind so you can't cheat by all these lights in here. We have
Right.
a lot of lights going and be able to see through my piece of paper. So, first story. Florida man's Chihuahua defense. A Florida man was arrested after deputies said he threw a Chihuahua at a police officer during a disturbance call. The dog survived, luckily. Number 2, second story. The case of the missing keys. A Florida man called non-emergency dispatch to report that his pet ferret had stolen his car keys again and wanted an officer to help check under the couch and behind the washer. Both of those seem like they could be true.
Yeah,
The
right.
third story, cat in a stroller. Looks like we're having all animals today.
There's a theme.
I see Hannah smiling. Yeah, it's animal theme. Third story, cat in a stroller. A Florida man was asked to leave a grocery store after trying to argue that his cat in a stroller counted as a service animal because she helps with his anxiety in public. You may look at that and be like, yeah, that's actually allowed.
Right.
Probably. It might be. It sounds like it might be. I don't know. Which one's a true story? Which one's which one's real? Let's just leave it at that. Which one of those three stories is real? We have the Chihuahua defense, the case of the missing keys, or the cat in the stroller.
I'm going to say the ferret is real because it seems like the most absurd one.
Nope, that one's fake. You want to go a second shot at it? Which one's real?
I don't want to think about somebody throwing their chihuahua.
It's not about what you want to think about. Which one's real? Which one's not real?
All right. I'm going to go with the stroller is real because service animals do have certain rights. Did I fail altogether?
That is not it. So it is the Chihuahua defense. They threw a Chihuahua at a police officer during a disturbance call. That makes me think this guy or gal, whoever threw, it did say Florida man, this guy who threw his dog, what happens? You guys take dogs that are abused or different things like that?
Yeah, there's a process to investigate abuse situations, but we will be part of that solution and making sure that the animal's taken care of while that investigation's going on. And then if the owner loses custody, essentially, we'll be part of finding an adoptive home for them.
All right, that's awesome. Okay, well, what are your main goals?
So first goal, we're focused on saving 4,400 lives.
It's awesome.
Directly connected that is raising the funds to make sure that we can save 4,400
How
lives.
do people give to your organization since you guys are helping all these animals and really the community? Once we heard about the 570,000, was that it? Or I missed the numbers up?
No.
All those cats that
370.
370,000 cats that can come from one cat in 7 years.
Right.
All the good work you guys are doing, putting families in contact with dogs, cats, providing homes. How do people give money to your organization?
So the simplest way is obviously online. Our website is hssc.org, Humane Society of Sarasota County.org.
And we'll put that in the comments or links below. You'll see them there.
And we'd be happy to receive any donations that way. But even more so, I invite anybody to contact us to get a tour of the shelter and to really see the care that the animals are receiving, how clean the shelter is, and really fall in love with not only the work that we do, but the staff that's doing it. I have an amazing, dedicated, talented team that is teaching me new things every day. Literally, I was working with one of our team members, James, today, who was teaching me some K9 101 kind of things, because there's always more to learn, right?
Absolutely.
So on our website, we're going to be posting very, very soon a lunch and learn date. That's an opportunity to come learn some things about dog behavior, tour our shelter, get to know us a little bit. And then we have some donors that remember us in a legacy gift. So after their passing, they have a plan to give money to us. And that always touches my heart. I will tell you, I was signing donor letters literally yesterday, and I signed one. Somebody donated $3. That touched my heart. I don't know what their circumstance is, but they chose to take $3 of their dollars and give them to us. And so every dollar makes a difference. And we have that. We had somebody who pledged $40,000 at our event on Friday.
Wow.
The range is huge, but every dollar makes a difference, and we're grateful.
Absolutely. And you mentioned this dog food or cat food shelter you're creating.
Mm-hmm.
Do people just come up to your location, drop it off? Where are you guys located? They knock on the front door. They just walk in. How do you guys get that?
So we're on Lyman 15th. Of course, check out our website for the exact address. But we have two big bins that we put out. I'm sorry.
Milky Way is taking
Milky
paper
Way
out.
is becoming a dog
out of
shredder.
That's trash can.
That's amazing. I haven't seen this before. But we have two big bins. Hey, come on.
Sounds like you're getting it.
It's okay. I'm gonna grab it.
I'm stuck behind this desk.
Here.
It's just going to sound like chaos for people who aren't watching on YouTube. YouTube, you'll see us looking down,
Right.
but on the podcast, podcast services, you're usually like, what's going on?
Milky Way decided a piece
Milky
of
Way's a
paper
nice
was
dog.
a toy.
He's a good dog. Just being a dog, sort of getting into stuff.
So sorry, we have
How
two
do they
big
drop
bins out
off the
front.
food? Yeah.
Every day, those bins are being filled by people that are coming through the parking lot and dropping stuff off for us. And we either put it to use at our shelter or we redistribute to the community, depending on the items and things like that. So we get donated dog food, cat food all the time. We have people coming into the shelter on a daily basis asking for assistance so that they can keep their animals fed at home.
All right. And then social media. You guys are on social media. You're on Facebook, Instagram. What are your handles? Do you know them, or how do people find you?
I don't know them. So now you got to edit that part out and say it differently.
We'll put them in the links. We'll put the links. Hannah's going to put that in the links wherever you're getting your podcast. So don't worry about it. We're going to put it on for you guys. Hey, Connie, we really appreciate you for coming in, telling us about the good work you guys are doing at the Humane Society of Sarasota. And congrats on almost hitting 74 years, about to hit that 75th year. That concludes another episode of One Hale of a Podcast.